Howdy heretics, I'm Goatlike personality from Norway. I used to be a Jehovah Witness in Norway, where we have this cannon built by our friends, the Germans. And I'd like to tell you a story about when I was a Jehovah Witness. We always ran in on memorabilia from the war. And I remember there was an interview with a man, and he had been a German soldier here stationed, and he was very good at doing what soldiers do. And the Germans, they had fancy uniforms, and they would have, every now and then, they would have like a cinema where the officer could sit down and see a recording of a speech from Hitler. And he said that one time he thought was something wrong with his back, because normally when Hitler spoke, he would get like cold on his back because it was so inspiring. But he had no reaction. And later, he know why. It's because Hitler was a lunatic. And at one point, this kind of brainwashing wears off, and the enthusiasm of the war disappeared. And he said, now, after the war, I can't imagine why I ever believed in that little ridiculous man. But the first time it happened, he thought there was something wrong with his back. And I remember listening to that because I felt that's how I feel at the convention. When I was a young Jehovah Witness, I was out and I would be preaching and there would be, hallelujah. But then, after some year, you just go there and they talk about the importance of this, the importance of that. Satan is real, the demons are terrible, the apostates are bad. And you just sit and yeah, spiritual warfare, yeah. And I realized that his situation was the same as my situation, except I had the truth. But I also realized maybe I will wake up in the future. It was the first time I thought that. And be like him. And one day look back at what I used to believe and say, that was ridiculous. And that's where I am now. It's absolutely ridiculous what we used to believe. But at least I didn't kill anyone. That's the good thing. So I remember after the war here, when I was young, there was a soldier, he told me, I met him in field service, so he was drafted in 1945 after the war, and he was a rank and file soldier with a gun, right here behind us, and it was like a fence, not really a fence, but the Germans were kept there, and his order was to shoot anyone that go toward the cannon, like if they would sabotage anything. And so he was just looking at 500 soldiers that were wasting their day walking in circles. But they had been cult members. And they woke up from the cult, by losing the war. So imagine that, no deprogramming. And he said, this young, well, he was not young when I met him, but they were really suffering. And he was suffering because he had to look at people that clearly had mental issues, clearly needed mental health. Some of them were walking around like this, because they had been in war for 5 years, and at one point they believed in what they were doing. They believed they were serving their nation. They believed they were doing it to better mankind, and then they realized it was all for nothing. And I was a part of that. So they were having mental breakdown, but the poor Norwegian soldier, 18 years old, sitting with a gun like, okay, no mental health care, it's me. So he was deeply traumatized, the Norwegian guy. I met him in field service here. So that's life. Don't join a cult. Don't become a Nazi. And normally I don't say so much nice things about Jehovah being a Jehovah Witness, but at least we didn't kill people. So next month, well, we can film here. So this is for all of those of you that go on a cruise in Norway and you go past Trondheim. So this is the inlet, the Fættenfjord. So you've gone past this fortress, but if you're still alive, it means we didn't shoot you. And there's a lot of fortresses, and deep in here they hid a great German warship called the Tirpitz. And the harbor, the makeshift harbor for that, was made by an elder in my congregation. He told me himself. So when Jehovah Witnesses always say, we were the only one that didn't cooperate with the Germans, that is not true. Like this great warship The infrastructure, like the harbor-wise thing, was built by Jehovah Witnesses in my congregation. But I didn't practice disfellowshipping back then, so he wasn't disfellowshipped for helping the war effort. Next week, no, not next week, in August, the 9th and the 16th, there will be ex-Jehovah Witness stand-up. So it's a normal stand-up. Any worldly person that never heard about Jehovah Witnesses will enjoy our comedy. But it's also like a meetup for ex-Jehovah Witnesses. And I will be there. And we have 6 great ex-Jehovah Witness comedians there. So that will be a great show. So if you live in London or England, it's the biggest meetup of the year. So go to doomsdaycomedy.com and buy a ticket, and I'll see you there. So this is a great day. And I'm no longer in a cult. See you in London.